We are going snowboarding. Welcome back to another video, you guys. So I'm getting the truck ready as we are about to embark on a bit of a journey to Montana. We're gonna go snowboarding in Whitefish. So I'm just getting the truck cleaned out. I still gotta vacuum it. I'm debating whether to put the rubber liner back in the rear here, which I probably will do. But we're going for a week, and I wanted to make a video as I've showed you before, but I kind of discovered something as I was. So what I'm doing in the back here is I'm putting like a thermal blanket down, and hopefully that'll help reduce some of the noise, the drone that this truck might give off during the drive. As I'm gonna have basically, let's just say, average out 4 200-pound passengers, not quite 200 pounds, but let's just make it easy on ourselves. With me, that's 1,000 pounds of just people in here, plus your extra gear in here. Let's say another 100 pounds. Plus all the stuff in the back. So I mean, you're carrying 1,200 pounds of extra weight on this journey. So I'm thinking the truck will be sitting at a bit of a higher RPM because it's working a little bit harder, and I just don't want that drone to be too bad. So I put a blanket in the back there, and I kind of wanted to show you guys this. I've shown you this in another video, but a lot of new subscribers since then that may not have gotten around to watching the old video. If any of you guys are ever interested in just sort of pulling down your rear seats, start by flipping the seat up, and then if you reach back here, sorry, just give me a second here, behind the driver, or behind the headrest here, you will feel a little lever. There we go. So you heard the click. Now we pull this back down, and then ta-da. So as you can see, I'm kind of shoving a blanket back here. I don't know what this is going to do for, if it's going to do anything at all, but I figured this was sort of an empty dead space, so I figured, you know what, let's throw some stuff back there and see if it makes a difference. So to put it back up, put this back up, and the other seat folds down, you have that little pull tab to pull the whole seat down. It's a little bit easier to have everything down. You normally wouldn't want to do this, but like if you ever have like a dirty golf bag or a wet golf bag, and maybe you have a subwoofer on the floor like me and you have nowhere to put things, I guess you can always fold the seats down like this, even that far one, and put stuff on top here. Otherwise it doesn't really serve a purpose, other than just figuring out, show you guys if you ever needed access. Like I have that subwoofer video, and it makes it easier to get back in the corner here. I know it's dark, sorry. There, to get back in the corner here. And address that if you can have this seat pulled down. So we're gonna keep the blanket there, and we're gonna see what that's gonna do. But to put it back up, you just gotta slam it. There, see, easy. So I figured I want to show you guys that quickly. When you guys watch my videos, I want you guys to sort of walk away with something. Each video that you guys watch, that way I feel like I'm doing my part, and that it gives you guys a reason to be here. I'm not just wasting everyone's time with nonsense. And I feel like there's already enough nonsense out there these days on the internet that I feel like at least I can do is give you guys some sort of knowledge on things that you obviously don't need it from a day-to-day basis, but it's there, and figure I kind of show you that. So the main sort of purpose of the video is I wanted to talk about, as sort of the thumbnail explains, is my 5 personal favorite mods on this truck. I might have talked about that in another video before. I honestly can't remember. I know I did the best F150 mods, but that's, in my opinion, what like people should just do starting off with their F150. But I'll tell you my personal favorite mods, as my truck is already built as a whole. So this is in no like particular order. But starting off, I'm gonna go with first and foremost the Rancho suspension, the Rancho 3-inch suspension. It took me a long time to find the Rancho 3-inch suspension. They don't advertise it as well as they should, so I will do my best to sort of put it out there. I know the 3.5 Ready Lift kit is an option as well, but that's like that. Now you're going as high as you can go without cutting anything. The 3-inch Rancho is a perfect lift in my opinion. I've mentioned it before in other videos. It just works so well. I have 120,000 kilometers on this truck. Roughly around 70,000 miles, give or take, and I've had this lift on for 80,000 kilometers. I've had it for 3 years. I've driven I put a lot of mileage on this kit, and it's just been really good, which leads me to the rear shock issue. I didn't get boots for these shocks, and that maybe just because I was dealing with Rancho directly, so maybe just the kit they sent is a little bit different when you're talking to like an actual customer service rep rather than dealing with like an aftermarket supplier company. maybe things just got missed in that regard, but it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't too worried about it, as I don't really like the red boots in here. I ended up buying my own eventually. I put them on and I just thought they looked like shit. They looked cheap, so I took them off. And I think what happens over time is, you get rocks on the piston, and then the rocks will work their way into the O-ring or the gasket here, and eventually just kind of chew out the gaskets, and then oil will start leaking out, especially when you're hitting big bumps and all that stuff. And eventually your reservoir will be empty, and then the shock isn't doing so much, so then you're really bouncing off your leaf springs basically. And the same with the other side. Like, this side is a lot worse, and you'll notice when your shocks are like on their way out, because your rear end will feel super bouncy and super sloppy, because a shock is supposed to dampen all that, right? Like, it's supposed to, with all that oil, it's supposed to be just this really insane hydraulic cushion that whenever you have like this bouncing effect, it's supposed to just cushion it and absorb it and then return it back to normal ride height, right? So I think that's all gone, because I don't know if you can really see, but like, this is one hand. It's pretty hard to tell because I'm obviously going up and down with it when I do this, but like, that's one hand, and then there's still a lot of wobble after the fact. So that is going to get changed. I'm going to put my OEM shocks back on. Rancho, I reached out to Rancho, and they actually are going to send me a new set, and probably one of their newer sets, their newer line of Rancho rear shocks. So stay tuned for that video, you guys. I'm excited to get them. I'm excited to put them on. And yeah, other than that, I'm going to put the OEM ones on for now, and then we're going to go to Montana with the OEM ones. Because with all the weight, I don't want to just be all that's a lot of. It's going to just be a shitty ride. Like, it's all leaf spring. You know, obviously the shocks still do something, but not what they used to. So yeah, so new shocks, and then I'm going to rotate the tires as well. So I'm hoping to get that done tonight, if not tomorrow. And I'm not going to do a video on it. I'll do a video on the shocks when I get the shocks, but putting the OEM ones in for now, I'm not going to bother doing. But when I do the OEM ones to the Rancho aftermarket, I will shoot a video on that, guys. Don't you worry. And in terms of rotating tires, you're simply just taking this one off. You're putting it on the driver's side, right? You're always putting the back to front, and then you just cross everything, right? So you're going in a diagonal. Back rear goes on, back passenger goes on driver front, front passenger goes on driver rear. So that's something I'm going to be doing yet. Anyways, getting on with it, guys. My second favorite mod, personally, on this truck is the Tailgate Emblem. The blackout emblem. Now, anything black, I'm a huge fan of. I like the blackout look. And these in particular are very cheap, and they go a long way. Like, it stands out. I don't talk about these enough, and I personally think this is just a great mod, rather than just having the kind of color match void F150 in your tailgate. Get the blackout or whatever you want. Don't go chrome, but if that's what you like, that's what you like. Get these guys. They look really good, and they're very, very cheap as well. So they do a lot for the truck, especially if you're going with that blackout look. And I imagine most people that do that sort of blackout look will get this, but just in case you guys forgot, that is a great mod, and it's one of my favorites. It goes a long way. As well as any other sort of blackout emblem, right? Like, these are our black. You can get these off our website at 50nation.com. These are the matte black ones. There are some people that order the gloss, and I almost feel like, and you know what, like, I always want to give people the most variety they can. I even have people ask me if I do custom colors, which I do. But the matte black, in my opinion, just looks so good. It looks so stealthy, and in like certain lights you can't see it, especially on the gray. See, like, and then in certain lights it really, really pops in a good way. So it looks super, super good on this color, and the matte black will look good on any color, mind you. But yeah, these are definitely a very nice touch to the truck. So that's on our website. You guys go check it out if you guys want yourself a set. And we send 3 of these. So it comes with 3 decals, just in case you screw up on one. Then it's not an issue, right? One thing I will say is that sometimes when you install these decals, even that one right there, you might get a couple bubbles behind, but like, that'll work itself out over time, guys. Don't worry about that. That could be a combination of a number of things. Usually it just comes down to how you've prepped your surface. Sometimes the sticker doesn't like to adhere because maybe there's a piece of dust or whatever, but just give it time, guys, and it will shrink. Like, the heat will get at it, and it'll just nicely flatten itself out. So don't worry too much about that. It's kind of like when you get window tint for the first time, there's bubbles in it and eventually they work themselves out. So if you guys do get it, or any of our decals, and you guys install them, don't freak out about the bubbles and don't spend a lot of time trying to fix them, because you can ruin the decal and then you'll be kicking yourself and you'll be, hey Jeff, can you send me something else? I'll be like, all right, there's another one on this way. So yeah, check that out, you guys, and our 50 Nation decal if you guys are interested as well. So I think it just gives the truck, everything as a whole, just gives the truck a good look. And obviously going to the front emblems here as well that have the black and red contrast, they look very, very good. So going to my third favorite mod, I guess, on the truck would be the wheels and tires. We'll say the wheels and tires, but the wheels specifically, the 20x10 -24 offset, I think looks really, really good on a leveled truck, because especially with the 3-inch Rancho kit, and I got away with it when I had the 2.5-inch level as well. You don't have to cut anything, and a lot of that does definitely depend on the tire you're running. But you don't have to cut anything. I didn't have to cut my crash bars. I didn't have to trim any of my plastics, and you still get that really aggressive look. I mean, those tires are sticking out, 3 inches past the wheel well, and they just look really, really good. So that would have to be my third favorite thing about the truck, is just the look of the wheels, the offset, and everything like that, right? Now, you can get any 20x10 wheel, so I'm just going to say the wheel in general, the 20x10, not so much the design of the wheel, because I'm looking for a new design. If any of you guys that follow my channel are you have a hookup, or you work for a wheel distributor, or you own or whatever, guys, let's talk. Let's connect, because I would like to do some advertising in return. I'm looking for a set of wheels for this truck, so hit me up, you guys, if that's something that you guys can do, and then we can talk later about that. Going to my fourth favorite mod, let me turn my lights on here, because that is what I'm going to be talking about next. No, what are my fog lights going on here? Hang on, bear with me. Subwoofer just comes flying on. Okay, there. I hate that chime. I gotta turn that off with my forescan. So, my fourth favorite thing for sure is the headlights. There's no doubt about that. These Alpha Rex headlights have been just phenomenal. And like, I was working with Alpha Rex when they kind of first launched. Like, I probably reached out to them back when they had under 1,000 followers on Instagram, and now they have like probably closer to 100,000. But I got the opportunity to work with them when they first came out and give them a bit of exposure. So I worked with them for a year and a half. And I like to think that when I started advertising their headlights, there was a lot of people that jumped on the bandwagon when it came to Alpha Rex, and I like to think that I really helped them sort of kickstart their launch of their headlights and all that stuff. And they're doing very, very well themselves. We don't really work together anymore. Our contract just kind of expired, and obviously, like, what else are they going to? I wasn't going to take another set of headsets for this truck in particular. If I get a new truck in the future, I might reach out to them again. But I gotta give credit where credit is due. These are fantastic headlights, you guys. I've had no condensation issues, nothing. Like, there's a little bit of pitting, but I can clear that up anytime. They have been fantastic. No LED issues, no nothing. I've had them for 100,000 kilometers. I've had them basically since I got the truck almost. And let me turn the hazards on here so you can see the sequential. So you can see how good that looks, obviously. The sequential look looks just phenomenal, especially at night. And yeah, I've had just no issues with these. And to go along with that, guys, the fog lights as well. Oh, I almost fell there. So these are just off Amazon. Like, these are just cheap. And obviously you can see a little bit of condensation at the bottom here, which is going to happen when it's minus 40 and plus 40 and all that stuff here in Canada. So these are just off Amazon. These are just a blacked out housing. And I think this is just a plastic lens on here and it's not glass. And I mean, they're cheap enough that you just treat them like a consumable item. When they burn out, you just throw them out and then you get new ones. But I've had these for 2 years and they haven't had any lights burn out yet. They're just the 3, and it is quite bright, those fog lights. So I recommend getting, like, if you're gonna do your headlights, just get the fog lights as well. Then you have the whole blackout kind of front end. And the last thing is the Raptor grill. I'm a huge fan of the Raptor grill, you guys. And I know a lot of people hate it, because I do get a lot of people like, oh, you shouldn't be running the Raptor grill. And here's my take on it. You can only run the Raptor grill if you have the supporting looks. And there's a lot of people out there that do. There's a lot of people out there that don't. A lot of people will buy the Raptor grill, but they'll have the chrome headlights, the chrome bumpers. They'll have like the fender flares on with the OEM wheels still, so everything just sucked right in. And it just looks horrible. They just went on eBay and they're like, oh, this will look good on my truck. But they didn't have the supporting mods to support the grill, and you need the supporting mods. You can't just slap a Raptor grill on an OEM truck, a stock truck, and expect it to look good. If it looks good to you, that's all that matters, but don't expect everyone to, you know, treat it with kind. But if you have the right supporting mods, you know, the offset wheels, that aggressive look, maybe the hood lights, like I got there, the headlights, the light bars, you know, just the overall color. And luckily I don't have to color match my grill, because I already have like the blackout mods to support it, and it goes well with this color. Like the Raptor grill that comes on the Raptors has a bit of a matte kind of finish like this anyways. So it's not a big deal, but ideally if you can get that color match as well, then it would look all the more better. But you need those supporting mods, and that's so crucial. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's definitely one of my favorite mods. I like any truck that has it, that has the proper supporting mods for the Raptor grill. So that is definitely one on my top of my list. And an honorable mention as well is my exhaust. And like obviously the 5-liter just sounds fantastic with any exhaust on it. But you can see my MagnaFlow muffler right there. And like I've had this thing this was the first thing I did in my truck, was this exhaust. So let's see if I can get a light on it here. There. So this is the MF series, as you can see. I think it even says, no, it doesn't say MF on. Well, it says MF, that's for MagnaFlow. But this is the MagnaFlow. It's called an MF series exhaust. And I've had this for a long time. There's only rust on the welding there, but there is not a stitch of rust on this muffler, and it sounds fantastic. It goes so well with my speed performance. Oh, why am I zooming in? There we go. So it goes really well with my speed performance resonator delete and my speed performance high flow cast. It just sounds amazing. Like it sounds like a true muscle American V8. It's got the really good rumble. It's not raspy like a lot of V8s are, or a lot of the 5-liters are. It's got just this really deep tone growl. I have lots of exhaust clips in my previous videos, and it just deserves a mention, because it's sometimes hard to, like my last 5-liter truck, it just sounded, I had a Flowmaster exhaust on it, and it sounded so clapped out, man. It sounded like a fart can. Like it was just horrible. It was so clappy, and I just droned so loud, and I just could not be happy with this setup. It is super quiet, guys, when I'm driving. Like I'm driving 60 miles per hour down a highway, there's little to no drone. The loudest part of my truck is for sure my tires, partially because I haven't rotated them in a while, but definitely an honorable mention is the exhaust and the setup in particular. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with a 5-liter and with any exhaust setup on the 5-liter, but this setup in particular is fantastic. So we'll wrap it up there, you guys. Thank you for joining. I kind of want to just go over my 5 favorite mods personally, and I feel like it does change a little bit here and there depending on the weather, the mood, and all that kind of stuff, but I'm pretty set in stone that those are like my favorite mods on the truck, with sort of how I built this truck. And maybe not the best mods for your truck if you don't have, like I said, the supporting mods. But as my truck is right now, those are my favorite mods. And I'll leave you guys at that. I hope you guys took something away from this video. And I just wanted to throw something together before I left for Montana. I won't be shooting for a few days while I'm out there, so I wanted to put something quickly together and leave you guys with that. So guys, thank you for being here. You guys, please subscribe to the channel, throw a like if you guys enjoyed this video, and go check out our other videos as well. If you guys are interested in purchasing some merchandise off of our website, www.50nation.com, and all of that goes a long way, guys, to help me be able to do what I do. And I like to give you guys nothing but quality. Like I mentioned earlier, guys, if you guys ever buy something off of us and you just don't like it, it didn't work, we have 100% customer satisfaction, you guys, because you guys do mean a lot to us. And we're not like, I work a full-time job, and this is and I would love to be able to shift to full-time doing this, making YouTube content, but it's just not realistic right now. I actually have a little baby on the way, so that's going to change things in the future. And yeah, so all those little things that you guys do by supporting us goes such a long way. We obviously wouldn't be here without you guys, and I value you guys a lot. So like I said, I'm always willing to give back to you guys, and we do giveaways and all that kind of stuff. So I want to do another giveaway soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm in talks with Rancho Suspension. I know I've mentioned this before, but they really want to do the 3-inch giveaway. But I think they went through a bit of a management change recently. Like, I don't know if they bought someone out, or if they got bought out, or I'm not too sure exactly what happened there, but I think they went through like a whole kind of shift themselves. So I think things got delayed because of that. But the customer service rep that I talked to from Rancho says that we are still doing the 3-inch giveaway, just a matter of when. So I'll have more details for that, you guys, when that comes to light. So stay tuned for that, you guys, and I will see you guys in the next one.